What's going on, everyone? Someone said what's going on, y'all. But we'll be checking out dangerville's new video titled "The MonsterVerse has a what's the title? MonsterVerse has a big problem and it's not cinema." For the ones that don't know, CinemaCon is coming next week. If you haven't already, go follow all my social medias because we're gonna be posting there literally the whole weekend from Thursday all the way to Sunday. So go follow my social medias right now because if you like block on certain things or that, come to me and I'll let you guys know. So we'll get into this. Not only that, but we could be expecting more MonsterVerse news here very soon. This is pre-recorded on Tuesday at 12:15 p.m. 15 minutes ago, it was disconfirmed by Apple TV and Legendary and the MonsterVerse account and Warner Brothers that Monarch Season 2, Monarch Legacy Marshall Season 2 is officially done filming and that we are set to go. Now granted, this is the middle of March. So now it is highly unlikely that will be coming possibly December of 2025 of this year. So this is the tons of that. But we're gonna be talking about to another video, possibly releasing next week. So let's go ahead and get to this video and see what is the big problem here and why is it not cinema. Me personally, I know why it's not cinema, because we got another team up film. That's why.
The MonsterVerse isn't a cinematic universe. Now, hear me out. The series has come so far over the years. It started off super dramatic and gritty and realistic, and has since gone through multiple genres, different creative styles, and introduced countless mind-bending things. It's easily my favorite set of films ever. Like, I can watch any of them hundreds of times and I won't get bored. And the best thing, each being different means that they can individually appeal to you depending on what mood you're in. If you're feeling happy, you can watch Godzilla x Kong. That's just completely wacky fantasy. But if you're feeling in the mood for something serious, then you've got 2014, which is more grounded. There's not many franchises that can do that. It's given us tons of new inventive monsters, giving us some beloved and not so beloved characters, and has blessed us with some of the best Godzilla and Kong action ever put to screen. But can you really call the MonsterVerse a cinematic universe? From the get-go, the series was designed to give us all sorts of films centering around different monsters, both old and new. But has it? We've of course had 2 Godzilla films, 1 Kong film, and 2 crossovers, with a 3rd on the way. But so far the MonsterVerse has been more of a Godzilla and Kongverse. It's gotten to the point where Legendary no longer feels safe releasing standalone Godzilla or Kong films. They think the only way for this franchise to thrive is through crossovers. But they don't realize that they're only digging an early grave by relying so heavily on that. Because instead of being special events saved for big climax,
I think this is mostly from Warner Brothers. They think that they ain't gonna make enough money, so they make more garbage like these other films that don't need to be made. And then like the Minecraft movie. And so they make money off of this, so they can post more garbage. That's basically what's going on. But Legendary has something that I don't know how you say it, but it's something that you can basically trust in some way. They have a few bad films, not all bad, not like all bad. They're like mid, good, fun, enjoyable, basically stuff like that. But I think I'll make another video about me explaining more. But basically, we don't need more team up films. This is bringing money. If you get a good casting, if you get a good story, and all that, for a solo film like a Godzilla 3, Kong 2, I said this in the last video, possibly a, let's say a Shimo movie, or a Rodan, or a Martha, or any kaiju there is in the MonsterVerse, we can make something about that. So with all crossover between Godzilla and the Pacific Rim, could that possibly happen? Possibly not, but hey, anything can happen now in the Hollywood, so there's that.
To plot threads that have been set up for years, which is the method most cinematic universes use. They're instead making the MonsterVerse films only crossover events, which is only making them feel less special and reduces the possible lifespan of the series. Imagine if after the Avengers, they went straight to Age of Ultron and then went to Infinity War.
See, speaking facts, I said this in the last video a while ago, basically saying we need to go back to Solo, and because it's starting to be like, it's getting annoying, and like this be the Avengers like drop a team up film every 5 films, or like every 4 to 5 films like Marvel Studios does. But yeah, this is getting super ridiculous and all things. We need a solo film like really bad. Plus, if you put a crossover over these kaijus, Godzilla and Kong, and not tell enough story between both of them, then what's the point of making a crossover if you can't put up a story like that? Now, going the first 2 films were good. But this one, if this one beats the budget, which it probably will, this Godzilla Kong 2 makes, let's say, $1 billion. Now, granted, that probably won't happen. Let's say that, then we need to go back to Solo. Okay, so we will go back to Solo. Okay, we make Godzilla 3. We go straight over to Kong 2, and then we bring back Adam to direct his final MonsterVerse film, which will be Godzilla X Kong 3. That's how it should go, like every once in a while.
It just doesn't make sense. But that's only a fraction of the problems I have with the MonsterVerse.
Yeah.
As you know, in the past I've talked about how there's very little consistency between films. It barely even constitutes as a universe. Plot threads from one film are completely dropped in the next. Like, they're pretending Godzilla isn't a species anymore. They didn't address how Apex got the Ghidorah skull from Alan Jonah. The Muto Prime essentially is non-canon now. And all the monsters that were woken up in King of the Monsters, never to be seen again. There's just so much that's being ignored. Even in the comics, that legendary release, they give us these stories that we think are expanding the lore, only for them to turn around and either make them soft canon or entirely non-canon, making them completely pointless. It's perhaps most evident in the fact cities are completely destroyed and are never addressed in the follow-ups. Ghidorah's invasion was a catastrophic event that flattened countless cities.
I just want to say, again, I'm making another video about it, but that was Washington D.C. What if next movie was in Washington D.C.? That would be pretty fucking dope. I ain't gonna lie with y'all.
Including Washington D.C.
Yeah.
And you'd expect this to be addressed, right? Perhaps we see an even greater emphasis on military control. Some countries closing their borders and announcing martial law.
Yeah.
Maybe some started worshipping the Titans as gods. There's so much you can do with this. And what does this planetary level destruction lead to? Nothing. Literally nothing. Even in Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla blasts a hole through Hong Kong right into the hollow earth. Wow, I mean, that's pretty big. I can't wait to see it addressed in the next film. It doesn't. There's just a hole to another world slap bang in the middle of Hong Kong, and you just have to be okay with that. In the New Empire, Godzilla, Kong, Shimo, and Scar King all flatten Rio de Janeiro. Will it be addressed? Who knows? It feels like the filmmakers just don't care about the world building and universe growth.
Oh God.
We've covered so much in the MonsterVerse, but what does it really matter if it's only going to be ignored? I can only hope that this is what the MonsterVerse film is going to address next, because it's been—
Me too, to be honest. I think they should address like things like from the past and all that. Like me personally, someone on Twitter asked what I would do for the next MonsterVerse film. I was like, I will bring back Millie Bobby Brown to play as Madison Russell. I've said this in the past too, but basically, the whole story is about her. Where has she been in the past 10 years? And because the ones that don't know, the MonsterVerse takes place. The GVK, Godzilla vs. Kong, took place in 2024. Godzilla X Kong took place in 2027. And we don't know when this next MonsterVerse is gonna come. We know when it's gonna come, but we know when it's gonna take place. Possibly 2029, possibly 2030. And people are like, well, that's not 10 years, but we don't know when it's that. But it will also be 10 years in reality time. So that's why I said, basically, I'll explain how she been all this time. Where has Mark Russell been, and then I will make a story where she has a connection with Godzilla, somewhat of a connection with Godzilla, like she did in Godzilla vs. Kong, when she knew something wasn't right with him and something's threatening him. So I will continue. I will have continued that story beyond this, and then let's see how people like it, you know. But that's basically how I would do it, and then give Godzilla more screen time, and then basically how that again it will be a Godzilla sort of film. Because no disrespect to Kong, but let's be honest, we need a solo film, and I can make a good solo film. It's just I need to like characters to like act. I'm not going by the father was and all that. I'm going by the talent. I'm going by everything, and I'm not talking about you want flying or no, I want grounded, I want martials, I want it together, you know, like God said 2014, not too dark, not too light, but this the right stuff, you know, basically that.
5 films of catastrophic destruction only to be ignored, and it's just a bit sloppy. It has to lead to something. The only thing this series has to show for consequences of Titan attacks was in Monarch
we need to know what the hell
Monsters,
happened to
where
San
we saw
Francisco.
Japan had defensive missiles and emergency shelters set up in case of Titan attacks. But this is set before the Ghidorah invasion, and from what we see, nothing's really changed. But back to the core issue, that this doesn't really feel like a MonsterVerse. There are many ways they could expand the MonsterVerse by having other Titans take center stage. Lord knows there's enough fans of Mothra and Rodan, but Legendary refuses to give them their time to shine. Even in the expanded media like the comics and TV shows, areas where they could focus on the less popular Titans, since there's less risk of financial loss, they still focus on Godzilla and Kong. And I've come to realize something, that the MonsterVerse isn't a MonsterVerse at all. It's a human verse. Now, this isn't so much of a bad thing. Instead of focusing on different monsters and having that be your foundation, they've made a choice to have the stories focus on different people and how a world of monsters has affected them. We get to see multiple characters in different settings with different backstories, and how they individually react to the situations that Titans force them into. It's not a bad idea on paper, but Legendary hasn't done enough to make the world feel like something that's changed because of the monsters. Going back again to the consequences. Yes, Monarch has set up more outposts, but this is from Monarch's perspective. How has it changed for everyday people? Because from the audience's perspective, very little. The closest thing we got to seeing the impact was in Godzilla vs. Kong with the Pensacola humanitarian relief. But that's in the same film. Where was this after Ghidorah attacked? Or the Hong Kong brawl that flattened the city? We get none of that. Like I said, the concept of focusing on humans isn't such a bad thing. I want to see more films and shows from different perspectives, but I just need them to do more with the world building. Because just think for a second, how would our world react if they found out Titans exist? That's such an interesting concept, and the MonsterVerse has done nothing with it. I also wanted to do more than focus on Godzilla or Kong. Now, one thing that is helping are the games, funnily enough. While they aren't exactly what people have been asking for, they're giving us new experiences in the MonsterVerse that we wouldn't be able to get from the films. Survivor Instinct finally gave us Abaddon, the big scary spider titan, and showed us firsthand what a titan attack would be like, and it was pretty good, honestly. And Titan Chasers is showing us what happens when a Hollow Earth portal opens up as it sends thousands of creatures up to the surface, and goes more in depth about the groups that the films glance over. It's things like these that helps with the world building. It shows the consequences of living in a world populated by titans. Like, yeah, there will be people that exploit them for money, or even hunt the monsters. That's an interesting idea. Even though we're 5 movies in, it still feels like we're only scratching the surface of what the MonsterVerse can offer. I really hope that in the future they take advantage of the idea by giving us games where you can play as the monsters. Give us something from the Titans' perspective. And one of my top requests on my MonsterVerse wishlist is a prehistoric planet-style documentary based on the monsters of the Hollow Earth. Make it feel real, like a tangible world that exists. Make it a MonsterVerse, and not so much a human-verse. So, in summary, what I believe they need to do is focus on lore consistency, follow through with plot threads set up in previous films, make the world feel more real, have consequences to actions, make standalone films again. Not everything needs to be a crossover. Focus on more than just Godzilla and Kong. There's no shortage of titans. And as a little bonus, expand the universe in other mediums. Give us a MonsterVerse game where we actually play as monsters. It's what literally everyone wants. Remember, I love the MonsterVerse more than any other film franchise, and I feel inclined to critique it because I love it so much and I want it to be even better. With a new director on the horizon, there's really only 2 possibilities. He either continues all the plot threads that are leading into the next film, like humans wanting to take the fight to the Hollow Earth, and properly grows the lore in a cohesive way, or he can just drop it and do something completely different, which honestly wouldn't surprise me at this point. But what are your issues you have with the MonsterVerse, and how would you fix it? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe and stomp the notification button to become a resident of Dangerville today. I've been Alistair, and we'll see you residents in the next one.
Thank you, Ben. But basically, how I will fix it is, again, like you said, bring back. I will bring back the ground level type of town. But basically, like you said, with it being we need to know about the cities and all that, about these attacks, I would definitely do that. Like I said earlier, I would bring back Millie Bobby Brown and explain the whole chemical mass and also about where has she been since Godzilla vs. Kong, and what has her father been and all that. And I will bring back something chemicals. This for the fun of it, not this for fun. Like a story that connects, like something like, I don't know how you can explain it, but it's something that it will bring hope, but also that tone back. But it's literally everything needs to be fixed with the MonsterVerse. I would put more muscles and make it like a MonsterVerse film into, if I directed it into my film, and have less humans. Now, some of y'all probably like what that is. How you gonna do that if you have 5 year or 4 year to do this? That's the thing. I would start as soon, like I will have a half a script ready, just in case. So say half a script ready for the story, half a script ready for the story, okay? And And if I got a call from one of those original with Toho, basically saying, hey, we want to hire you for your next film, for the next MonsterVerse film, I'm like, bet I already got a story, half a story. I can send it to y'all right now, or I come up. That's basically what I'm doing. That's basically what I would do. Like, so say it's like 6 months. So say I directed the 6th MonsterVerse film, or the 7th MonsterVerse film, and I basically just give that tone that everyone been wanting, give that vibe that everyone been wanting, give that emotion that everyone been wanting. Basically like that. Like, I am that type of person that, okay, this does not sound right. We're gonna scratch that. We liked, or like, so say we're filming, we do all the edit and all that, and like, so say like, let's go with the scene with Godzilla getting dropped in the custody of humans. Okay, so say we do that. So say that's the scene for the final edit. Scratch. We're going back to reshoot real quick and put more mushrooms in. That's basically how I would do it. Or like something like, we're gonna put humans and then go back to the action and leave it to that for about 15 minutes and then go back to the humans. That's basically how I will have put it, to be honest. But basically, if I directed the 7th MonsterVerse film, then I would basically do it. To be honest, I would basically do what people have been asking for, and not only that, I am that type of dude that that likes Oscar like that. That's how I feel. Because the 2 boys that become heroes. Before I saw one of my comments on that, I saw running a live action script for that. This because I already had a story in mind, so I was like, you know what, bet. So I made it, and the 2 boys that become heroes is mine, personally, and I'm still working on that comic. But I already made a whole script for a film. But basically, I wrote the whole trilogy from 1 for free, and I sent it to someone that makes fan-made films here, and they were like, yo, this is like insane. Like, in the comment, and he said this to the 3rd film that I like. So, but anyways, make sure to subscribe button, hit that like button, and the links down below for this video and to dangerville's channel. And not only that, I want y'all to comment down below, what would you change in the MonsterVerse, in the MonsterVerse. I gotta get back to working the multiverse type shit before everything happens. But let me know you guys' thoughts on it. Go subscribe and like and share dangerville's video. Same with this one. Same with this reaction and all that. So yeah, see you guys next time, and make sure to subscribe button and go follow my social medias. Peace.